Greatness. Great men and women are ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Great people are not born great, they grow great. So as you search for the right career path and gradually become great, let your dreams light up your path and your inner radiance shine for the world to see.
Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Center Circle Show with me, Adelani Ogunrinade. Of course, we have an amazing package for you today. We're going to be going to the latest in Africa and Europe, and we'll be touching today specifically on the world of football because we have an amazing football analyst as the guest today, and that is what he specializes in. So we decided that today's show is going to focus exclusively on football. Well, you don't want to miss this show. It's going to be amazing. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Center Circle Show. Before the break, I told you that I have an amazing football analyst in the studio today, and he's seated right here with me. He goes by the name of Emmanuel Akura Adaa. I'm sure you people have seen some of this man, and this man knows what he's talking about when it comes to football. Welcome to the show. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Adelani. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, Akura Adaa. Well, ready to talk about everything football. And we'll be starting with African football. Well, Vincent Nyama, remember him? Vincent Nyama. Yeah. Now, he was one of the best goalkeepers in Africa a couple of years ago. But now Leo is saying that he's surplus to requirements.
Leo is not saying he's a coach. Marcelo Bielsa, we all know him. He's a very good coach, a coach who specialized in developing a team, building a team. He's not a coach who wants to come and then buy or use other old players to build, or rather to achieve something within any team. We saw that in Atletico Bilbao when he was there. He had the likes of Herrera, who is in Manchester United today, the likes of Ike Munei. At the age of 17, he gave him his chance to prove himself, and he's still playing. Now he's 23, 24, he's still doing it very well in Atletico Bilbao. So this is the kind of coach that they have in Marcelo Bielsa. Coming to Lille, he said he wanted to build a team. They should give him time to build a team. And building a team, he don't see the likes of Vincent Nyama, about 6 or 7 players or so. He decided, no, he don't need those players because of their age. And he wants to also bring in his own people to be able to build a team. So I see where he's coming from. I don't think it's a bad thing. Every coach has his own players that he prefers to use in any team that he goes to. So it's for him now to decide who stays and who is leaving. He decided okay, so the likes of Emmanuel are not going to be there.
Now tell me, Vincent, does he still have anything to offer on an international stage or to any other club in Europe?
No doubt, he's a quality player, like you said. He's a legend in Nigerian football. He's as a goalkeeper, I feel he still have a lot to offer. But then you look at other coaches, being it on the national level and even at the clubs level, they decide who they want to use. And if they feel that Vincent Nyama is in their plan, or somebody they're going to use, they will be able to use him. But I don't think at this stage, national team, I don't think he should be in the national team, but on the club level, I think he can still have something to offer.
Okay, now moving on to another African legend making a move is Asamoah Gyan. Well, Vincent Nyama hasn't made that move yet, but I'm predicting that he's going to be moving from Lille soon.
He should, if he still wants to play active football. I think he should. No player who want to be on the bench. A player like Vincent Nyama, who was man of the season for Lille last season, he was the one kept most clean sheet last season. But then for a coach to come and say, you know, not in my plans, I think it's to be the best for him to leave the club and find a new club.
Okay, now, well, another African legend that has found a new club is Asamoah Gyan, and he's moved to a team called Kayserispor. Well, I hope I haven't butchered that name, but it's a Turkish club, and he's making a move again. He used to be with the playing the Arab Emirates, and all of a sudden he's in Turkey. Is it just a money game for him now?
It is. We had this argument before that in this era we don't have players who are playing competitive football. Most of the players these days is about money, is how much they're going to earn, and you look at these players. I am not saying he's not using his age, but you look at them, some of them can't even keep up with the pace of Premier League, with the intensity of the Premier League. They want to go to leagues where, some of these obscure leagues where they'll be able to earn a living. So it's about money for him right now. Going to Middle East, it was about money in the first place, because you can't be in Premier League where everyone is watching you week in, week out, then you decide to go to a league where nobody is watching. And now going to Turkey, he's not even going to the likes of Galatasaray, where you will feel, you and I will think he's going there to compete or win trophies. He's going there, obviously, is because of money.
Yeah, and he's coming from the Chinese league, and he was also loaned at some stage to Al-Ahly. Well, good luck to Mr. Asamoah Gyan. Definitely, we look forward to seeing him in Turkey doing all his interesting dance routines there. Oh, that's what I love the most about that player. Now, moving on to our next player. Well, hey, he's making us proud, and it's George Weah's son, Timothy Weah, has joined PSG during the course of the week. Now, Timothy Weah, have you seen some of his play? Does he have enough skill to actually surpass his father? His father is a legend, the only African player to win the Ballon d'Or award. Now, Timothy Weah,
I don't think Adelani, to be fair for you to compare that guy with his father. And you know, he's a very good prospect coming out, but when you talk about George Weah, we all know who George Weah is, the only African to ever won the world best. And now you have a child who's coming. It's going to be very hard on this boy, very hard in the sense that everybody's looking at him to be his father, which is not bad. It's for him, yeah, he's just 17. It's for him to be able to calm down, play his football, say, this is me, I am not my father. I can do me, I can play football. But he's a good kid. I've seen some of it. I've watched some of his tapes, rather. Yeah, and he has been he has proved on the junior level that he can actually go out there and be able to do something.
Yes, and
not to be like his father, but to be able to play football and enjoy football.
Right, and he joins PSG, the club his father represented from 1992 to 1995. Now, let me read some of the stats of his father. Well, some of the things his father achieved. His 50-year-old Liberian father is a former 3 times African Footballer of the Year and the only African to win the Ballon d'Or in 1995. No pressure, Timothy.
No pressure. This is that guy you just read about right now is what we're talking about, that era of 1990s. In those days, imagine if as an African player can be able to win world best.
Yes. In
that era where you have the likes of Danielson, Ronaldo de Lima, you have the likes of Filippo Inzaghi, you have the likes of Christian Vieri, you have the likes of Baggio, and now you have Devosuka. You know who Devosuka, your former player. So when you have players like that and you have somebody from Africa where we could not even get into the top 5 in the world, and you have somebody like that, that shows he was something else.
All right, now moving on, we're going to be looking at a player of African descent, and it goes by the name of Riyad Mahrez. Now, Riyad Mahrez has come out to say that he wouldn't like to play for Leicester anymore. Now, there's several clubs looking for his services. Now, one of the clubs is Arsenal Football Club. Now, Riyad Mahrez, do you see him moving this summer from Leicester City?
Obviously, Adelani, he's a player. Last season, we saw what he did last 2 seasons when he won the Premier League at the expense of the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Man City, and all that. And he's a player who, when he tasted that Champions League, he wants to stay in Champions League. He wants to be playing Champions League year in, year out.
So where do you see this story heading to? Would Mahrez move to Arsenal? Would he move to Chelsea? And there's also talk of Barcelona being interested in the Algerian dribbling wizard.
I think Chelsea is out of it. When you talk about the 2 teams I just mentioned, which I think it would be wise for him to go to Arsenal or Barcelona, because these are teams that we give him the chance to play. But if it comes to a team like Chelsea, where their way of playing it is not Not just that, but then it's not going to help you to develop as an individual. I don't think you should be able to go to Chelsea. But going to Arsenal, trust me, to be a fantastic choice for him.
For Mahrez. All right, on that note, we'll be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll be talking about a young team making a big impact in the world of football. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Center Circle Show with me, Adelani Ogunrinade, and we've been talking about some exciting young African talent, well, young and some old, making the news in the world of football. We spoke about Vincent Nyama. We also spoke about Asamoah Gyan. We spoke about George Weah's son, and we spoke about Riyad Mahrez. Now we're moving on to a team that won the Confederations Cup, and that was Germany. Congratulations to them, because they were a young team. Julian Draxler, at the age of 21, 22,
yeah,
was their captain. And, well, they beat a more experienced Chilean side.
Yeah, that is what happens when the structure of your football, it's well and well and well. And I emphasize on that a lot, because a German side that we spoke about before, this is a team that in 2000, they were going through crisis. But when they decided to restructure their football, we see how the academy system in Germany is working. They have under 9, under 10, under 15, and all these guys no one is jumping from under 15 to the senior team. They are promoting them. They are going accordingly. And now you see a coach decided to drop the entire first team and take the junior boys just to go there and test these boys and see, because he has already his first 11 for next year's World Cup, but then he needs young kids who are going to join him. They're going to Russia come 2018. And now you see what these guys, they really proved to themselves. He brought the likes of Mustafi, who playing for Arsenal, he is well experienced. One of the most experienced player, the likes of Rudiger in that team, Draxler, like you mentioned. Imagine a player of that age being the captain and lifting a tournament at the expense of South American champions. I mean, I give kudos to the German coach and the German team, and these boys were incredible.
They were incredible indeed, and congratulations to Germany. Now, moving on to, well, a player that was on the losing side in the Confederations Cup and happens to represent Arsenal Football Club is Alexis Sanchez. Now, Alexis Sanchez, according to reports, is demanding £400,000 a week. You heard me right, £400,000 a week. Now, Alexis Sanchez, is he worth that amount of money? Should Arsenal pay him that amount of money? Should they sell him right now?
Adelani, football these days is about money. And we spoke about that a lot of times. You look at how somebody like Lukaku, somebody like Morata, if you can be able to bid £68 million for Morata, then you must as well go ahead and pay Sanchez $1 million a week.
Okay,
because
so
they're fantastic.
I mean, there are reports coming out to say that Alexis Sanchez in the dressing room is not a positive influence on the rest of the players. Should Arsenal still retain him?
Well, it depends. You need to look at the Arsenal's side, and I've said this to you before, that there's no character in that team. So you, as a star player in that team, when you look at the entire team and you feel these guys are letting you down, you're not going to respect the players because you feel you are a superstar, that these players are letting you down. Sanchez and Ozil, the problem they had in Arsenal last season, the last 2 seasons, was that they did not have people who will lift them, because they thought they were doing everything by themselves. The players were not there to assist. So now they feel, for me, I would prefer if Arsenal can be able to get rid of this guy. If they can be able to buy Mahrez, it's fine. Have a player that you can be able to control as a coach. Have a player that the other players can be able to relate with. Player that they will be together as a family. The team cohesion is what you need in every team. And then when he's not there, that means you disorganize the entire team. Then the players are divided. You're not going to be nobody to push each other anymore. Yes. So if to me, I would feel Arsenal should get rid of this guy and they'll sign somebody else. But he's a fantastic player, no doubt about that.
Alexis Sanchez, well, Arsene Wenger is reluctant to sell him to a rival with Manchester City, the likes of Manchester City sniffing around Alexis Sanchez. Now, moving on to, well, staying with Arsenal Football Club, Alexander Lacazette is the new player Arsenal signed this week, and we understand the figure is in the region of £46.5 million from Lyon. Now, is this the kind of player Arsenal need?
They wanted to sign this guy last season, but Lyon said no, and he also wanted to go somewhere else. He was waiting for the likes of Real Madrid to come, Atletico Madrid and all that. But this is the first time in so many years that I'm impressed with Arsene Wenger. I don't know if because of the outcry of the fans last season, but this season he has decided to prove to a lot of people that he can actually go out there and spend. And buying this guy is a proven striker, though we don't know how he's going to fare in Premier League. But then we have seen him in League One. Last season he scored 28 goals, giving 3 assists. As a striker, to me that is a very fantastic record achievement last season. So coming to Arsenal now, I think Arsenal as a team now, having the likes of Ozil, they have a young team and a team that has been together for so long. What they needed that killer striker, that person who will come there, and when they create the chances are not going to be wasted. Yes. So that is the kind of person that Arsenal need right now, and I'm very happy.
Alexander Lacazette scored 37 goals last season. So it seems like his goal ratio in Europe is quite impressive.
Yeah, 37 goals, but then he scored 28 in the league.
In the league. Yeah. Okay, now Olivier Giroud, where does that leave him? Do you see him?
He's not a kind of striker who will change games for you. And we have seen that a lot of times. Though he used to come from the bench and score here and there, but then you need a striker who can win you matches, who is a game changer, somebody who can come from the bench or when he's not playing and come from the bench and be able to win you matches. These are the kind of strikers that you need. And now signing this striker, I think his own playing time will be limited in Arsenal. So what is the point of staying in Arsenal than to go out there? And he's in his 30s now, early 30s. So he needs to go to a place where he'll be able to play football. And mind you, all these players are fighting for next year's World Cup. So it will be very unfair for him to sit in Arsenal and not be playing.
Yes, even though he's come out to say that he wants to support the club and be a mercenary at the club and just stay there for the rest of his career. But like Emmanuel Akura Adaa is saying, he doesn't think that's a wise decision with the World Cup around the corner.
No player right now that want to stay in a place where you know the World Cup is approaching and at the end of the day you'll not be selected for the team. I remember they still have the issue of Benzema is there. Lacazette, for instance, that is just coming to Arsenal now, is one person that the French national
but
team.
But Olivier Giroud definitely is a different player when he plays for France.
Yeah, but then coaches look at your performance. When they look, you're not performing. Your current performance also contribute to why some of the coaches will invite you in the national team. So if you're not playing week in, week out, some of the coaches look at you and they, now, mind you, France have the likes of Mbappe coming out. These are young boys who are playing very well. Yes. And so when you see them playing, it will be very difficult for you to bench them for somebody who's sitting on the bench.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, let's see what happens with Olivier Giroud. Now, moving on to Manchester United and the acquisition of Romelu Lukaku for £75 million. Now, that is crazy money.
Well, Adelani, I wouldn't say they have acquired him yet because they're still in the negotiation process. And the rumor came out again that Everton say no, they have not agreed anything with anyone. But then the newspapers were reporting that a deal has been agreed with Manchester United of 75 million, which I feel if Lukaku, like he said, he wants to develop himself, but then he find himself not doing that at Everton because Everton is not a club where his mind is right now. Because
but if he does move to United, do you see him banging in the goals and taking United to the top 4 this season?
I think he will only not just take them to the top table, but he'll win the league for them. Because he scored 26 goals for a team like Everton last season, which they don't have much, and they don't have a coach who is well experienced in Premier League. Yet you have a Mourinho side there, Mourinho who has won the league 3 times, who has been with top players. So I think Mourinho also will be able to push him to achieve that. And going to Manchester United, I see this guy doing wonders in Premier League come next season.
Okay, well, let's see what happens. We'll keep you updated as that story develops. We'll be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at the latest transfer news happening in Spain. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Center Circle. I hope you've been enjoying the show so far, as we've been enjoying bringing this show to you. Now, I promised you before the break we'll be talking about the latest in Spain. And guess what? Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi has decided, okay, you all thought I was going to say Lionel Messi has decided to move. Well, Lionel Messi has decided to stay, and this marriage with Barcelona is still strong, stronger than ever. They've even offered him a new bumper deal. Now, Lionel Messi, is this player challenging himself? Could we say he's the best? He's unproven. He hasn't proved himself in any other league.
I know a lot of people out there will disagree with what I'm about to say, but I said something about Cristiano Ronaldo before, Adelani, when he was in Premier League. When Manchester United signed him and he won the best player there, I was like, if this guy can be able to leave Premier League and go to Spanish League or Italian League and prove himself, to me, he would be the best. And he has done that. He went to Real Madrid, broken all the records and won a lot of trophies. So I was expecting somebody like Messi. He has achieved everything in Barcelona. I was expecting him to also challenge himself, going to Premier League, being in German League, anywhere in the world, and then prove to a lot of people that you can still play that side. But then you also need to look at it, what are they offering him that side at?
Yeah.
He's not getting here.
Making
him 500,000. Right now, he's the highest paid player in Europe right now. And
nobody would be able
you
to
know,
afford
only
services.
If Madrid can decide tomorrow that they're going to double Ronaldo's wages as well. If not, for now, he's the highest paid in Europe. So having that contract and deciding to stay with a team like Barcelona is a big team. He has achieved a lot with them, and he wants to probably end his career there. So I don't think it's...
So his new contract runs to 2021. And, well, he says the club is very happy with the renewal. Well, a statement came out to say the club is very happy with the renewal and commitment of Messi, the best player in history. And the Argentine forward has scored a club record of 507 goals in 583 matches since his competitive debut in 2000.
That's very... And you will not blame them. Even if Messi is not playing football like he used to, I still see Barcelona retaining this guy because at the end of the day, he has done so much for the club. He has given them a lot. So for him to sign the new contract, I think is the best decision for him and Barcelona as a football club.
Okay, now staying with Barcelona, there's a player by the name of Paulinho, a Brazilian that in the last Confederations Cup, everybody was talking about Paulinho and how amazing he was on the football pitch, and he was signed by Tottenham. After Tottenham, he moved to China. Now, it seems like his form is back, and Barcelona has bid for him, and that bid has been rejected. Now, players like Paulinho, is that what Barcelona need to compete with Real Madrid again next season?
I would say yes to that. Yes, in the sense that they need a box-to-box midfielder, which Paulinho fits into that. But you also need to understand this is a striker that they signed from Corinthians, a midfielder that Tottenham signed from Corinthians. And he came to Premier League, could not prove himself. He was a shadow of himself in Premier League, going to China because of the money and, you know, the mentality of the South American players. And you want to also bring him back to Europe. Is he going to be able to adapt to that playing style of Barcelona and the European football? Is he going to be able to cope with that? Because China is a different thing. It's a league that is, to me, I feel is not too competitive for anybody to play in. It's just, people are just going there for the money. But then bringing him back, I think Barcelona needs somebody like that. But then would that be the right choice? Would that allow him now to be able to come out and express himself the way he has been doing in China or national team? These are two different things. But if he can be able to prove himself, trust me, he's going to be a fantastic signing for Barcelona. If not, it's just going to be another flop for them.
All right, now Hector Bellerin, Barcelona are ready to make a move for the Arsenal starlet. Now, is it the right time for Hector to move?
He's 22. Adelani, he's 22, and if you look at where he's going to, he's in a very good team, no doubt, in a team that a coach believes so much in the young players who are coming up and give them chances. Then you're also going to Barcelona in a team where they also believe in the youth. So I think it's the right time for him to move. He has also declared that he wants to go back to Barcelona. So going there, and it's not just, one thing you also need to understand is he's going back to Barcelona because he wants to be the first choice in the national team. The World Cup is coming next season. And when you play for Barcelona or Real Madrid, your chances of representing your nation, being Spain, are very high. So I think, to me, it's the right time for him to move, be able to develop himself there, and play nice football.
Okay, Hector Bellerin. There are reports coming out to say that he already even bought a house in Spain. Well, he is from Spain. Maybe he just wants to acquire more property.
Maybe,
well,
who knows? Who knows? Maybe he'll come back next season or so. Because I mean, we saw the same thing with Fabregas. When he decided he's not going to stay in Arsenal anymore, he wants to go to Barcelona. He went there, but then he has to come back to Premier League again.
Okay. Well, it remains to be seen what will happen with Hector Bellerin. And the last player we'll be talking about is James Rodriguez. Okay, he corrected us. He said, don't call me James, call me James. And, well, it was something of a shock to me when I didn't see him on the starting lineup in the Champions League final. Were you shocked? What did you think about that? Zinedine Zidane didn't even have him on the bench. And that was a strong message to say, we don't need you anymore.
Very, very disappointing. A quality player, no doubt. We saw him in 2014. I've been following this guy from FC Porto to AS Monaco, and he went to Real Madrid. And you know, when you are in a better team, a player of such quality, when you're in a better team and you can't play, there's nothing that hurt like being in that team and not playing. Yes. And the coach declared from the onset that you're not in my plans.
Okay, now, I mean, there are rumors coming out to say that he's likely to stay with Real Madrid, and James is also likely to reject a fee coming from Manchester United because everyone felt he would be better suited with Jose Mourinho.
I think this guy feels he's in the best team in the world right now, the European champions, and then you want to push him out. I feel he wants to stay and fight for his position. But it would be very unwise of him to stay there because you are a captain in your national team. The players are looking up to you, and the World Cup is also approaching, like I said to you. So every player, their dream right now is to represent their nation in the World Cup. And then you are sitting on the bench, you're not playing. I don't think it would be a good move for him to decide not to leave Real Madrid.
All right. Mr. Akura, it's been nice talking to you on the Center Circle show. Hopefully you'll be back next week giving us the latest on Chelsea. What is happening with Chelsea before we leave? Right
now, Adelani, is just, we really don't know what's happening right now because the rumors is that they want to sign this, they want to sign tomorrow. We were all hoping that Lukaku will come back home, but then at the end they decide not to go after him anymore. He's going to Manchester United. So as Chelsea fans, we're still confused about where and when we're going to get a player who's coming to Chelsea. Right now, we don't know.
Okay. Well, Chelsea fans, one thing I can tell you that, well, I can actually just confirm the story that Costa did get that SMS saying that he shouldn't come back to Stamford Bridge. Well, sad, isn't it? All right, that wraps up yet another exciting episode of the Center Circle show. Until next time, we'll be back next week with another amazing... we have so much to talk about next week, and you don't want to miss the show next week because I have a little surprise for everybody next week. Till next time, it's a goodbye from me, Adelani Ogunrinade.